Shalom and welcome back to the 7th pilot episode of Torah in Color. Woohoo! 7 is such an auspicious number. Aren't you excited to see what magic is going to unfold in this episode this week? I am. I am April Baskin, your friendly neighborhood Jew of color and professional diversity and social justice expert and leader. This week, I'm eager to share my thoughts and reflections about the Torah portion of Vayetzei, roughly translated as, and Jacob left. You may notice the change in scenery. I'm filming this episode from my parents' home in the guest bedroom. Not only that, I'll get back to this in a moment, but there's another special synchronistic element about the place where I am that I will share as it relates to this week's Torah portion. So stay tuned. So I want to focus on Jacob's iconic dream in this week's Torah portion, but I suppose I should give you some context to better understand how we get to that point. So quick review. This Torah portion opens with Jacob on the run. As you may recall, but just in case you didn't see the last episode, I'll catch you up to speed. Jacob, in cahoots with his mother Rebecca, tricks his father Isaac into giving him a blessing that was intended for his twin brother Esau. And Esau is enraged and is out for blood and is looking to kill him and seek revenge. And so Jacob is sent fleeing by both of his parents to the land of Haran, where his uncle lives and where they all aspire and hope that he will meet his wife-to-be. And he needs to rest. It's nightfall, and he stops in what is described in the Torah as an unknown place and finds a rock to use as a pillow and falls asleep. And while he is sleeping, he has this seemingly divinely inspired dream in which he envisions a ladder spanning from the earth, from the ground all the way to heaven, with angels going up and down it. And God also speaks to him in this dream and essentially says that his descendants will scatter over the face of the earth and will have and receive many blessings. So back to the specific context in which I'm filming, I'm actually sitting on my childhood bed. Aww. It's a double twin that I inherited from my grandparents. My Grandma Lou and Grandpa Joe gave this bed frame to us. I don't know if we got the mattress in the box spring or if my parents got that. And I just found out the other day from my mother that it's actually exactly the same bed. I thought, and mattress and box spring, this is old. This is an old bed, but it just has a fancy topper on it. So I thought it was a new mattress, but in fact, it's entirely the same bed. And so I just wanted to note that it's a little sweet to me that I'm talking about the meaning of dreams and a little bit, or that I'm doing an episode involving dreams while I'm sitting, which isn't very common for me, while I'm sitting on the bed in which I had dreams all throughout my childhood. So, aww. So there have been many, many interpretations about what this dream means, but rather than interpret the dream specifically, what I want to do is go to a higher elevation intellectually and have a macro level conversation about some reflections I have about the ways in which this dream is interpreted, or the fact that Jacob even has a dream. So you should check out my prior video. If you don't have a lot of time, you can just check the last half of it, where I talk about some of the context that leads into what I'm going to say now, talking more about my reflections about a need for greater accountability from Jacob in light of the fact that he did a very bad thing and tricked and then stole from his brother on a couple different occasions. So what's interesting here is I had a choice when I was preparing my remarks, and I didn't like the idea of continuing to have critical energy about this patriarch of the Jewish people, of my people. And at the same time, I also couldn't ignore it. So what I've chosen to do is bring my reflections 360 and full circle and say that, in a nutshell, what I want to propose is that as a community and as Abrahamic faiths, as practitioners of Abrahamic faiths, if we're going to be compassionate and accepting of Jacob's wrongdoing and still allowing him to have dreams and hopes and move forward and give him the space to make corrections down the line, which is ideally, I think it should have been done much sooner and it should have never happened to begin with. I'm not justifying it any way. But if we offer that level of compassion, I would want to invite or question or just consider, what would it mean for us to extend that much compassion and love and assumption of good intentions to other people in our society, particularly those who are wrongfully or disproportionately incarcerated or targeted by the criminal justice system within the United States and perhaps in other countries as well. Can we extend greater compassion and love to them as well? I remember riding the bus in Dorchester, Massachusetts, in a predominantly Black neighborhood, riding the bus and train often and wondering, and this is slightly related, overlapping, but changing the subject a little bit, but I was riding the bus with many people who were experiencing intergenerational poverty. And I would often wonder, what would it be like if these individuals were given the space to have their dreams fully realized? What solutions to enduring problems would we find? What cures to diseases? What new music? What opportunities would be afforded to us if we gave more people in our society space to thrive? And so rather than talk about the specific interpretations of Jacob's dream, I want to acknowledge that even after multiple missteps, Jacob is still allowed to have dreams and move forward, and for us to consider if this reflection has any insight on how we think about people who are coming out of having been imprisoned or having gone through a reconciliation or restorative justice process, what opportunities we want to make available to them. Because we do see that the dream is actually true and many blessings do come from this dream, and whether we extrapolate it literally or metaphorically, I've experienced innumerable blessings in my life from being a part of the Jewish people. And so, yeah, that's the question. What would it look like if we gave many other people who may not necessarily be patriarchs of entire communities or people opportunities to redeem themselves, to be held accountable in loving, in thorough, but loving and compassionate ways, and be able to move forward toward a brighter future without condemning them. So that is my Torah in color this week. I'd love to hear what you think, whether it's in the coming days or whenever you see this video. I'm always happy to be in conversation, and I look forward to next time. Take care. Have a wonderful week. Much love. I forgot to say, and please subscribe if you haven't already and join in the conversation. It's very interesting to me because right now this is a pilot series, but very soon it won't be anymore. And I think eventually we're going to pick up some traction. So whether you are joining at that later date or early on, I welcome you to join in and to not just follow and listen to my videos. I really intend this to be a dialogue. So whenever you see this, please hop in and join the conversation. Much love.